Hello, we're going to teach you how to become a star AP Econ student.
Today's lesson will be on the role of the government.
To understand the role of government, first we must learn some important vocabulary terms.
The first thing we're going to learn about today are externalities. Externalities in economics is the cost or benefits of a purchase. An externality is broken down into either a negative externality or a positive externality. A positive externality is when a firm makes a decision or purchase and the consumer receives more of the benefit. Education is an example of a positive externality because society would benefit. A negative externality is a decision or purchase that affects other people in a negative way. Pollution is an example because it hurts society.
Good! You guys are a negative externality!
Hey Maddie, what are you doing?
Studying for college exams.
Well, that's good because college is a positive externality.
Great.
I learned that at AP Econ.
Awesome.
That was a negative externality.
The graph starts on the supply side at equilibrium. Supply equals marginal private cost. The marginal social cost is greater than the marginal private cost, which is why it's to the right. The deadweight loss is the area shaded in green. The graph starts at equilibrium. Demand is equal to marginal private benefit. The marginal social benefit is greater than the marginal private benefit, which is why it is to the right. The deadweight loss is the area shaded in red.
Next, we're going to learn the difference between a public and private good. A public good is non-rival and non-excludable. This means that the purchase of the good does not exclude another from also purchasing it. The military is a good example for this. All taxpayers are protected by this, and no one is excluded or protected more than anyone else. A private good is a rival and excludable good. This means that a consumer who purchases a private good excludes another person from purchasing the good. Food is a good example of a private good. If Sally buys a burger from McDonald's, Ryan cannot buy the same burger. A park is an example of a public good.
Private good.
Another private good.
Another private good. The military
Is a public good.
The last topic we'll be learning about today is fiscal policy. In times of a recession or high inflation, the government can step in and regulate taxes and government spending. There are two types of fiscal policy, expansionary and contractionary. Expansionary fiscal policy is used in times of a recession. The job of this policy is to increase the size of the government and the money supply. The expansionary fiscal policy consists of at least one of these two things: a decrease in taxes or an increase in government spending. An increase in government spending is more efficient because if you cut taxes, people will save some of that money, whereas if you increase spending, it all goes to stimulate the economy. An expansionary policy will always lead to a decrease in interest rates. The other fiscal policy that can be used is a contractionary policy. This is used in times of inflation, and its role is to decrease the size of the government and the money supply. A contractionary fiscal policy consists of at least one of these two things: an increase in taxes or a decrease in government spending. Contractionary fiscal policy will always lead to an increase in interest rates. Expansionary fiscal policy always leads to an increase in aggregate demand, no matter which action is taken. This is shown by a rightward shift in the aggregate demand curve. It always causes an increase in both the real GDP and the price level. Contractionary fiscal policy leads to a leftward shift in the aggregate demand curve, which is a decrease in aggregate demand. This causes a decrease in both the real GDP and the price level. We hope you enjoyed our video and learned a few new things about AP Econ and the roles of the government in it.
If you memorize these key concepts, you'll be better off on your way to be a star AP Econ student.